Hi, Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Suleiman Raheem here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Brothers and sisters, we're in the month of November, the month of hell. Begins with a great deal of confusion. This election, this month will not end nicely, at least not for the enemies. This will be a month like no other. It's already starting out like that. There's never been an election like this. I'm going to talk about it briefly. I talked about it before. I have my opinion. I gave my opinion. That's my opinion based on my research, not on the Al-Injil. I provided a couple of scenarios. I briefly talk about it. I briefly say a couple of things. Understanding pressure. Our reality is pressure. That's our reality. The more you learn about pressure, the more you understand about our reality. That's the wisdom. When they talk about the wisdom, that's what they're talking about. And the more you learn about it, the more wise you become. Because that's our nature. That's nature universe. Pressure, force. So pressure is force. When you study pressure, you won't even need the Bible and the Quran and Injil and all those books, because that's how those books was written, based on the mathematics of pressure. When you put something under pressure, like putting coal under pressure, every structure has a certain tolerance of how much pressure it can withstand for that structure. So you keep putting pressure and pressure on it. If it reaches that tolerance, right, it goes beyond that tolerance, it has to transform. It has to transform. It has to transform to some other structure that can withstand the greater pressure. It has to transform to another structure that can withstand that greater pressure. Understand that. That's what happens with a diamond. That's why a diamond is the hardest known substance, at least by the KV, in the world. Because it took intense pressure under coal being exposed to intense pressure over a long period of time, and it transformed into a diamond, which is much harder, hundreds of times harder than coal. It's the hardest substance known to KV. And if you put it under more pressure, greater pressure, it would have to transform again to something else, or totally disintegrate. See, because if it can't transform, it has to disintegrate. So if you study European history, as the pressure increases, they go through a period, they transform to another structure. Currently, right now, they're the greatest structure, right? The most firm structure they could ever achieve. They can't go beyond this. They've reached their threshold, their pressure threshold, the limit. So you reach the limit, any increased pressure will cause you to crush to dust, because you can't transform. It's either constructive transformation or a destructive transformation. So in this situation, like in 2016, I used that same idea to say, well, Trump would be president because you have the structure, and that's called the status quo. That's the structure. It resists change. It resists change. So you put pressure and resist. See, it doesn't, depends on the structure. Like water, change quickly. But like iron or steel, iron, it takes long because it's a stronger structure, right? See? So you put under pressure, right? And it's resisting. See? In a Quran, they call that disbeliever. See? They resist. That was the jinn. They resist change. Status quo. Resist change. See? Because that's the structure. That structures, people, you have organizations, education systems, all kinds of stuff that, is that, that's that structure that makes up that structure. If structure changes, and that means they change, they lose their positions and everything else. See? So they're going to resist change. It's called status quo. They won't be ruling, they won't be controlling anymore. See? So then you had the emergent. What is the emergent? The emergent is the transformative change, the change they're going to transform into. It's like the coal, right? The emergent would be the diamond crystals, right? They're starting to form as a result of this intense pressure on the coal. That's the emergent. That's the new beginning of the new form, new structure it's going to take. It's emergent. Now America's under intense pressure. All the European countries, the whole world is actually. But their pressure threshold is the weakest on the planet. So I looked at that and I said, okay, as under pressure, right? That means that old, because she was representing the status quo, just like Biden is, he's representing the status quo. And so you got the resisting. See, that's the resisting. See? And when you put something under pressure, what happens, when it transforms, what happens is it finds that what transforms the strongest elements in it, that starts the transformation. See? It starts to transform. So it seeks to find the strongest elements because the weakest one's going to be crushed. See? So it find the strongest one, right? Because it's looking for the strongest structure. It's looking to find a structure that can withstand the new pressure, the greater pressure. So it starts out with transforming, right? A seed, a transformative seed, I would say. So Donald Trump represents a transformative seed. See, another greater structure that can withstand the structure America was going under with. That's why he said, well, we got to change everything. Foreign policies, everything, America first. We got to look at focus on America because we are under all this pressure. And she represents the status quo. Globalism, we're going to do it, we're going to be part of everything. And that's why he won. See, because the status quo, the pressure was too great and the structure could not withstand it. So it started a transformation process. See, it didn't complete, it started. So then, under pressure, remember, it resists. So the resistance can be greater and greater and greater because it doesn't want to change. And so that's what Trump experienced, all this greater and greater resistance because the pressure is great. The pressure on America's getting greater and greater and greater, and the resistance coming greater because they don't want to change, but greater. They're doing everything to stop the change, stop him, stop the change. And it get worse and worse. You see how bad it got. It got so bad that everybody's against the man. The whole organization, the whole system against him. Everything. It's only people around him. Because he was representing the change, right? Even though the change, the transformative change was still going to be destructive, it still wasn't going to be enough. But it's still going to, try to transform. It's like, try to transform. It transforms something else. Now, it doesn't mean that something else can be strong enough to withstand the pressure, because if it doesn't, it's going to just collapse into dust. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So he comes back. Now you see, anybody that paid attention see that they never seen anything like this. That whole system was against Trump in every possible way. Election, all the stuff they was doing. and all the stuff that's going on. I mean, it's obvious that they be creating votes and stuff and everything. Anything to stop this man. That's why I said he would probably win. And I'm still holding on to that just based on that. But if he doesn't, I don't think that's going to really change the situation, because I think that's an indication, right, that the system just going to collapse into dust. Because it can't make a constructive, the constructive transformation, right? It can't achieve it, and even if it did achieve it, it wouldn't be enough. So either way, it signals destruction of this country. Because the status quo structure cannot withstand the pressure. And the transformative that Donald Trump represents cannot withstand either. So we come with a dilemma here. And it's very revealing, because you see how long it's taken to resolve this thing? That's because the tension is so great. See, because the resistance is so great, they're doing everything they can to stop this transformation. They put out all stops. But they really need this transformation to have any chance to survive. See? Because the configuration they have right now will not survive. And there's a lot more details I'm going into that about how is it, because the thing is that what's happening, we got a situation here, we have all these different elements. See, we got it's not like in a country where everybody's like, everyone's white, everyone's black, everyone's Chinese, whatever. All these things together. So everybody have different transformation points, different pressure thresholds. So what this pressure is going to do, no matter what, right, it's going to force everyone out to their own space. It's going to polarize this country like you've never seen before. And in fact, the Bible says anyone outside our own country will be cut to pieces. It's going to polarize this country like you've never seen before. Asians against Chinese, Chinese against. That's what it says. Jesus says, come with a sword to separate mother from father, father from sister, so forth. I mean, sister and brother, whatever. Sword. Because you can see polarization like you've never seen. I'm talking about this month. I ain't talking about, man. See, I'm not like these other guys. Now, if I'm wrong, then you're going to find out right away. As I say, in terms of 20 years from now, this month, within this month period, you're going to start seeing things happening. Because it's going to be the month like you never imagined. This is November. Between November and December, all bets are off. This is the month I've been talking about. This is the month where the war starts. Now you got to be, you can see if it doesn't start this month, then I mean between now and December, if it doesn't start between now and the 21st of December, 21st is winter, it's supposed to start between the Sabbath and the winter. If you understand it's Sabbath, that would be September. So it has to start between October, November, and December. And we're already out of October. But it's going to polarize this country. That's another aspect of the pressure, because you got different thresholds. Okay. So the problem here you have is that if Trump doesn't win, he's still hit the January. You see. So I'm going to talk about some events in a minute, and these events then must happen, as the scripture says, it still must happen before January, right? While he's still in. Because if you understand Daniel, he's the one that's going to be constricted. He's the one that's going to bring the plagues down. He is the one. He has already brought one plague down, and he's the one that's going to be at war with the world. So if that's the case, that means a lot of stuff's going to happen between now and January. If it's not the case, he prevails. Because I'm not looking at it analytically. See, you look at the analytical mind, they count numbers. See, I'm thinking pressure. I'm thinking spatial mind. They think in numbers. That's why they won't call it, because he can still win. Think about that. How can they call it? They should have called it by now. Look at all those numbers. All of a sudden, bam, all these numbers come out of nowhere. See? But it doesn't matter, because the pressure is still increasing. See? And if the pressure, think about it. What bailed out George Bush, baby Bush? 911 came all of a sudden, saved his presidency. There was no way he was going to get a second term. Saved his presidency, 911. There'd be something like this going to save Trump. Doesn't matter. See? Because remember, the structure is resisting change, but it doesn't have enough strength to resist the pressure that's being exposed on it. So it's going to either transform or be crushed. But either way, once that threshold is breached and the structure no longer withstand the pressure, then the resistance disappears. Resistance disappears. And then a new structure starts coming into existence and attempt to adjust to deal with that increased pressure. And if it can't, then it's just crushed to dust. There'd be a brief second, like, light start flashing, and then it finally goes out. That brief little flash right there. Then you're going to feel a brief little flash where the system is going to say, if it's just on the collapse, how would that look? I'm just saying, this is my opinion. See, how would that look? What would that look like? Something happens, then boom, right? No resistance to Trump anymore. There's no resistance to him anymore. Because that structure collapsed. See? So there's no resistance anymore. See? And new transformer starts. So that flashing, that energy, like, see light bulb, energy release. See, when you see a light, the energy release from the light bulb shining bright, that means all that structural energy that was holding, that kept the light in that structure. So whatever behind, that keeps the light going, the structure the reason light goes out because that structure collapses. Can't produce light anymore. But the light you see, the flash is the structure. It takes energy to maintain a structure. So when that structure collapses, the energy released. That's what you see. That's what you said bright flash for. See? So if that happens, then all that structure energy, as America is now, because like, what I mean is a restructure. See, the thing is what if he has to call martial law? He's at war, suddenly at war. He has to call martial law. That's a restructure of America. All that structure energy, all of a sudden you get a big burst of energy. Real bright. See? Then you got this, right, this polarization. See, I'm just, this is one scenario. This great polarization, real bright, right? See? Now America's at war. And all those things I've been telling you, right? And bam. And then suddenly, but that structure is not enough. It's the strongest structure America come up with, but it's still not enough. It's still just defeated in war and destroyed. That could happen whether he is president or not, because all this is supposed to happen in the next few months. So even if he loses, he's still president till January. See? But if a war happens, see, even if he's not, he's still present. If he gets hit, the country's still going to rally around him. So all the resistance to him is going to go away. Either way, all the resistance to him is going to go away. At least the structural resistance, media and all that stuff. Because when Baby Bush, when I won, the media, they was laughing at him, mocking him, everything. Once 9/11 came, man, he was the man. Everybody was with him. 100%. He had no resistance at all. So then, then there's no resistance. He may have lost the election, but he still be president in January. You gotta understand that. So the bottom line is you have to look at this both ways. Whether you lose or win, what will happen, right? That will break the structure. Because remember, even in 9/11, there was a structural change. America's never the same. There was a structural change there. All this, um, you get, security and all this stuff that's going on. See, so America has never been the same. And if they have this war now, this is going to be a greater war than ever. And it happens starting this month. The war in the Middle East starts. Even whether he won or not, he's still present. He's still going to have the same reaction. You see, and there won't be any resistance to him anymore. See, because everybody rally around him, and he's not resistance among his own people. You still have polarization. That's going to be resistance. And so martial law, well, how will martial law look like? Is that where they start putting blacks in concentration camps, like the Japanese? See how these things hang together? I just put it out there, bro, just for you to think about. Let's move to the presentation. I'm going to take a brief 1 second break here. Okay, back, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's get into the presentation here. Let's see, where is it? We're going to cover several subjects, but they all hang together. November 2020, the brass serpent. Just a little segue here. Consequence, torque, current, Hodge, mass time acceleration equals force. That's the 5 fundamental principles of Islam, which the 5 pillars are based on. That's the mathematical equivalent. We'll talk about that another time. I've talked about it in the past, talk about it again, right? But you have the 2 things there. What you need in this period of time is you need an Injil, that's your mind, your new mind, upload Injil, and you need the 5 pillars. You see? That's your so-called manual. You see? The operation manual to you. Thorough knowledge of self. You need both. Software, right? And the manual. And you need Farad. He's your God. See? going to give you your land. He's in the process of taking care of that now. Let's move on. Here's the angel key that I'm going to be using. This is the structure that I'm going to be using here. Okay, with the particular symbols, at least in most cases. Okay, November. Talk about November. Let's go into a little more detail here. A couple of things we'll look at. Try to understand what I was saying earlier. Now, these are the things that's supposed to be happening within. This would happen within a year of America going to war in the Middle East. It says when Babylon fell, her destruction, everything would come in one day, meaning 1 year. So we see, if we understand Daniel, we understand that goat represents, it says, this goat came from the west across the surface of the whole earth without touching the ground. Now, that means it's coming across the ocean. Now, what ocean is coming from? If it says it's coming from the Atlantic Ocean, that means the goat must be America, because it's powerful. That means it's going to collide with somebody over in Europe or somewhere over there. That means the goat would have to be that. Because it's coming from the west across the ocean, it's not touching the ground, right? But if it's not, that means it must be America then. It must be, the goat must be Asian power coming across the Pacific Ocean. Think about it. I mean, this thing's not that complicated. It has to be one or the other. See? So the Oriental nation coming towards America, or America going towards, America's crossing the Atlantic Ocean, or it's got to be an Asian power or Oriental power, right, crossing the Pacific Ocean. Primarily, most likely, an Oriental nation. Okay. And then you have this ram. It had two horns. The greater one can't last. This horns is America and Britain. America is the greater one that can't last. It's only been two world empires in European history. Two world empires, not empires, two world empires. That's been Britain, son of a cell in the British Empire, and America. Only two. Those are two horns and false Israel. See? So that should be pretty clear. So that means you got an Oriental power, right, that's coming across the Pacific Ocean to attack America and see what happens to them. Now, the point you want to show here is, right, is that it comes with furious power. Furious power. That means it's powerful. So again, that could be America or it could be China. See? With furious power. It could be one or the other. See? As rage is mad, move with rage. So if you're saying it's America, then you mean America has this, it does have furious power, and it's moving against Europe. Right? Going across the Atlantic Ocean is moving against Europe with rage. Is that likely? Is that likely? See? Or is it Orient moving against America and this ally, Britain, coming across the Pacific Ocean with rage? Because what's happening now? Haven't you been paying attention? I put something out there not long ago. China is getting enraged with America. Who's enraging them? Trump. He's enraged in China. They said they're on the verge of a possible war. I presented a video on a couple of days ago. They're on the verge of war. China's getting angry. Who's angry at them? But Trump. You see? So it's the scenario where it is right now. And it says when he hit him, he broke his power. That means when they come, and that's what I've been saying, China, it says death in Hades, that's China, and India is going to be allied. See, America thinks India's the ally, but India's going to be allied with China when they come, and they're going to invade America on the west coast and take it down, take it all the way down. See, that's after the war in Europe. This is going to happen. Okay, So yes, your question, two things here. That's what I'm saying is correct. Then the question is, who is who is in, who is more likely, would fit this scenario? Biden or Trump? Is Biden enraged in China? No, he's conciliatory towards China. China's okay. They're our friend. They're buddy. They're no threat to us. But Trump is blaming the virus on them. Now again, tensions are high. See? So that's the question. Who is most likely? Not saying that Biden can't be elected, but that if he is, this won't happen until after January. See? And if it happens after January, it's not likely to happen anyway, because he's conciliatory. So what we're saying is this most likely is going to happen, right, with Trump. It will have to happen between now and January because he's out of office then. See? Now it could happen after January. That means he has to be elected. So you look at it, you think about it. Let's look at the next one. Iran. Now, you understand the angel, understand scripture. At time of the end, this end times now, because remember, we're talking about China. They're saying America's wiped out. That's the end times. I guess anybody in America would tell you, if we've been wiped out, that's the end time for us, right? At the end time, the king of the south. Who's the king of the south? That's America. Pushing at him. The king of the north, that's Iran. See? It's pushing at them. Some translations say attack them, right? But it says Iran's going to be surprised them and come back with a powerful force. See? And it's going to take over the whole Middle East. So enter countries overwhelm them. It's going to take over the whole Middle East. That's what it says, the war in heaven between Michael's angels and the dragon's angels. The Shia, right, are Michael's angels or Pharaoh's angels. So who's most likely to bring this scenario about? Trump or Biden? Biden wants to go back to the agreement, old agreement. He wants to establish an old agreement that Obama had. He wants to make peace with Iran. See? But Trump wants to demolish Iran. He's waging war against Iran right now with sanctions and everything. His maximum sanctions campaign. So who's most likely to cause this scenario? Trump or Biden? So again, if it's Trump, he loses the election, that means it has to happen before January. If it's Biden, it won't happen. Not this scenario. If Trump wins, right, that means it could happen anytime. No? Because he's the most likely to cause this scenario. I'm just putting it out there, brothers and sisters. Now this one, they talk about 2 demon plagues. Once it's over, it was 5 months last, like from May to September, that's 5 months. And the second one, see, this second one, and we're going to talk about this a little more later, right? See, the second one, the plague, the demons, the locusts, right? They're the Christian blacks. See, that caused all this. No, they did. The so-called Democrats and everything else, right? Causing all this confusion and everything during the first demon plague, tearing this country apart and everything, rioting and everything else, looting or whatever, right? Well, it says there was 2 demon plagues, or 2 locust plagues. This one, right, will tear this country apart. It's really going to go on. It was 10 times, maybe 100 times worse than the first one. And we know how bad that first one was, last about 5 months. This will be way greater than that one. So who would cause that scenario? Because these people are for Biden. So why would they want to tear the country apart if Biden wins? That should cool them down. But they cooled down just now, just hope that he would win. They were anticipating that he would win. Now if he does win, that's not likely to happen. But if Trump wins, right, that's likely to happen. But they're going to go crazy. You already know they're going to go crazy. Now say he doesn't win, right? But the point, he's still president in January. You see? And now, if there's a war and everybody's supporting him, these people are going to go angry because they hate him. They don't care what. There's nothing that man can do. Is then if he found a cure from cancer, right? They want to kill him for that. See, because he says what they would say. Well, you're not worthy. They get me. I don't know. Anyway, so who's most likely to bring that situation about? See. Because if Biden wins, that's not going to be a problem unless something happens, right, between now and just January. It caused all the resistance, because the only reason why Biden got there because all the resistance was in his favor. You had everybody against Trump, the media, everything. That's the only way he got in there. So now all of a sudden they're not resisting Trump, and these people are going to be pissed off about that. So that put it out there, brothers. You think about it, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let me check something here right quick. Make sure we're on page, because we're on, I did this the other day, and I got burned. I want that to happen again. Okay. The analytical mind. This is just a little recap on my phase 1 to phase 5 series. The analytical mind is a mechanical mind. It thinks mechanically, analytically. See, the spatial mind is a biological. It makes biological organisms that does work. You see, look in the world around you. We have all kinds of machines all around us. It does all kinds of work for us, but they're biological machines. Ants, vultures, flies that eat manure, clean up trash, vultures that eat the dead. See, trees that produce oxygen. We have all kinds of machines everywhere, but they're biological machines. See, they don't recognize them as that. These things that come into existence by themselves, we produce those things because that's what we think. We're very, very advanced, so we produce biological machines that they can maintain themselves. See, biological machines don't require us maintaining them. They maintain themselves. Mechanical machines requires maintenance, but that's the way analytical mind thinks. See, they think mechanically. See, and so the analytical mind is that other germ that Elijah Muhammad told us about, that brown germ, the weaker one, the recessive one. That the spatial mind kept in track and kept restrained for trees and years. It served itself from time to time, but in this time of energy deprivation, it really become personified by Dr. Yakub. Now, you may not be paying attention to this, but this is a new world they're trying to bring in. A mechanical mind, a world where you will no longer be around. They want to be the new creators. They want to have a creation based on the mechanical mind, not the biological mind. See, because they would destroy everything on this planet, and they would replace it with mechanical things. Robots, see, androids, see, machines. You see it already. They make machines for everything. They replace a lot of things that had biological functions. They replace it with mechanical things. And they try to do it in human beings. You lose an arm, they give you a mechanical arm. You lose an eye, they give you a mechanical eye. You lose an ear, they give you a mechanical ear. You lose a foot, they give you a mechanical foot. You know, they make mechanical hearts. You see. Mechanical voices. They're trying to replace, you understand, you with mechanical things. But they don't need you anymore. And it's getting worse, getting more intense every day. You're more dependent on mechanical things, less dependent on biological things. And the biological things they don't understand. It's biological things that's killing them. These germs and these viruses and things. See, if they can get rid of a mechanical body, get rid of a biological body, and produce a mechanical body, it would be immune to all those type of things. Biological system will not harm it, will not have any effect on it. Viruses, they would be, and they will be useful forever because they can just replace the parts. See, and the brain does not age like the body does. The brain can live virtually as long as it wants to. As far as science knows, the brain only dies when the body brings it down. The dying body brings the brain down. That's the world they're trying to bring in. Remember how they started? Here's a little evolution. So it started. See where they're going? And they're getting better and better and better at it. They're already putting implants into people. See? They want to computer transplants so you don't even need a laptop. They're right in your brain. Right? Put what you call Android phones, iPods or whatever you call them. Right? I have an Android. Anyway, iPhone. They want to implant that in your brain so now you communicate with someone just by thinking. Just think their number, boom, you communicate with them by thinking. They're already working on all these things. You better pay attention, brothers and sisters, because that's the world they try to bring in. A world where you will not be needed. A world where they would not need people or animals to do anything. You see? You're not needed. That's what they're trying to bring in. See? The analytical world. Get rid of the spatial world. Because that's what Dr. Yakub did. He isolated the analytical from the spatial. And analytical, without the constraints of the spatial, is rebellious. It's rebellious by nature. And unbound is evil, destructive by nature. Because we have symbiotic systems here where systems work together. You know, symbiotic relationships. They understand that. So that's why they cause no disruptions. They call it species distinctions and things like that. Because they don't understand it, how it fits together. They understand how machines fit together, but they don't understand how biological systems work together. Because they think analytically, and we think spatially. So you see, start with robots. See? Then go to androids. See, androids are people that androids are advanced. They're not really robots, right? But they're like a cross between. They're not human at all, right? But they operate in a human way, like that. If y'all saw the movie Star Trek, Data, he was an android. Okay, so you can't distinguish. You wouldn't be able to tell android from a human, but it's totally mechanical. See, but a cyborg is different. A cyborg means everything's mechanical except the brain. Your consciousness is still you're still you, but everything else is mechanical. And you have implants. You have eye implants and everything else, but your brain is still you. It's biological. It's the only thing biological. The brain is biological. Everything is mechanical. That's a cyborg. That's what they have for your future. Because then you can live as long as you want to live, and you stay useful for as long as you want to. As long as you want, you get a part, something, you replace the part. See, you wouldn't have to sleep. You'd be totally energetic. No pain, no suffering, anything. You have any experience you want. Just think about it. Any experience you want. You want an intimate experience? You don't have to have it with someone else, right? Just think it and you have it. You see these things, these goggles they put on when you do 3D and everything. Brothers and sisters, you're not paying attention. So this is what they're moving to. And that future is not future that you will not exist. It's like our future, they won't exist anymore. That future is a future you will not exist anymore because they don't need you. And they're getting closer and closer to it daily. There it is. That's the Jesus. See, you all think they playing games. They're not playing games. They're not bullshitting at all. They're very serious, right? See, they taking the scriptures and put their twist on it. Because remember, Jesus is supposed to come back with this new divine body, this new what do you call it, incorruptible body. It's some other word they use, right? This glorious body, right? That can live forever. No pain, no suffering, right? He's supposed to come back, and he come back. He's going to take and transform all our bodies transform all our bodies like his body. Are you paying attention, brothers and sisters? Now, this Jesus just happened to look like them. Because everybody got these spook eyes. You can't see. You don't know what it look like, nothing else. But them, they have a picture of them. It looks like them. See? So one day, bam, he's going to come back. See? So he's going to appear. So one day you're looking at TV, all of a sudden you see one of these things, and I'm Jesus. See, I'm back in my glorious body. See, he got a whole power of America behind him. See, because they put them together, right? So I'm going to transform everybody. See, you're my people. You might be Christians, you're my people. You see? So we're going to transform everybody, and we're going to get rid of everybody else. And who's not going to buy that one? You'll get this glorious body. You can live as long as you want to. No, and that's your Jesus. He looks like that's it. He came back with his glorious body, like he said. You have this perfect body now. Live as long as you want to. No pain, no suffering. Powerful, young. No operations, none of that stuff anymore. And I don't know anybody over 50 years old who would not jump on that in a heartbeat. That's it laying out. That's not what Scripture's saying. That's the interpretation. And it's very impelling. It's very impelling. Because now he suddenly appear. Where he's going to appear? He's going to appear in America. Remember, yeah, evangelist, man. Hey, man, yeah, Jesus is that. And look, he's got this glorious body. Like he said. He's going to save us from our sins. Because, look, we're perfect now. Look at him. But wake up, brothers and sisters. You're going to wake up in a minute. Okay, let's talk about these 4 keys. I talked about this before. I made an error when I did the first time, so I'm going to take a little more time with it. Right? Why is this important? Because it gives you a lot of information, explains things we'll see as we go along. There's 4 keys. And you go into Angel and you see 4 keys are mentioned. The first one is death and Hades. Has the keys of death and Hades. That's 2 keys. Then it has the next key, right? That's the key of David. 3 keys. And then you have the key to the abyss. Well, it talks about 2 times, but it's still the same key. Key to the abyss. So it's 4 keys. 4 keys. Now, I'm showing you Angel key here. The 4 keys are the 4 winds. See? They're the 4 winds. And so once you understand how, and we know how these things are placed. If you study Angel, you know how these things are placed within the Angel, because they're also the 4 winds, right? Then you know, you identify who death and Hades is, who David is, and who the abyss is. Because there's a big misconception about who death is. Now you got this clown, Ishmael, one of Farrakhan's clowns. Oh, the pale horse is death. No, it's not. And it's not a pale horse. It's not death. It's greenish yellow horse. And it's not death. But if you read King James Version, you might get that because they say it's death. It get a transliteral, it doesn't say that. It says the one on top of him is death. You got to get the right translation, a transliteral. So we're going to see what happens here. So we know those are 4 winds, right? So now we see where they placed that. So now we know here's the key to them. So The key to the abyss, we see down here, the abyss is Satan or false Israel. Now we see who death really is, right? That's the one riding on the black horse. We see who Hades is, the one that follows behind death. That's the one that's riding on the fiery red horse. And we see David, that's Farad. He's riding on the white horse. So now we know who David is. David's Farad. I keep telling you David's Farad. Right? That means the son there, that's Suleiman, that's his son. The high priest, his spiritual son. That's the high priest. That's Suleiman, the lamb, the one that breaks the seals. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Try and make it as simple as possible. Now we're going to talk again about the locusts. The locust plague. See, that's why I'm talking about these keys first. The locust plague, right? Now, locusts, the reason the locusts are, see out here where it says demon, the greenish yellow one, where it has a cross? That's the plague, that's the main plague. That's the main locust, right? And the reason, one of the reasons why it's locust, because it's the same color. Locusts are greenish yellow. That's another hint right there, right? Okay. So it said, and the fifth angel, we see what the fifth angel is. He had the trumpet, the star fell out of heaven, having fallen to earth. See, fell to earth. This is the earth down there, right? See, that's the fifth one. I always said the fifth one. See, the keys also the first, second, third, and fourth trumpet. Like I said, the first four trumpets, they don't fall until after the sixth one. The sixth trumpet's holding back the first four. The first one to fall is the fifth trumpet, the fifth angel. Then it talks about, now remember I said the sixth one's holding back the first four, so six had to fall first. This gets back to the sun became black as a sackcloth of hair, and the moon hole became blood. See? The fifth and the sixth trumpet, they're also blood. They're the blood of the Lamb. So, and then you see the Suleiman, he's over here with the black horse. That's the Nation of Islam, or the Levites. That's what it's talking about. So these has to happen first. That's why I'm pointing this. Now, the war takes place and Babylon has fallen. See? The Shiites kicked everybody out of the Middle East, took control of the Middle East. Babylon has fallen. And they had this configuration. Okay? Getting to a point here. Now the first trumpet, the first key, right? Or the first trumpet falls. And I said the fifth, sixth was holding back the first four. Now the first one falls. But the first one is the key. That's where it says, and the fifth angel trumpet, I saw a star fall heaven, and it was given him the key of the pit of the abyss. So now he has the key. See, this doesn't happen until this happens, after the war. That's what giving you right here. So now that's when he's given the key. He's not open until he gets the key. He has to have the key first. That's when he gets the key, after the war. And the first trumpet, and the wind starts blowing. The winds don't blow until after the war in the Middle East. Okay? The winds don't start blowing until after the war in the Middle East. So therefore, in the key also wins. So therefore, the first one went, right? And now he has the key, and now he's opened up the key, and there's the four winds, all the four winds, right? And that's when he opens up the pit. He opened up the pit, the abyss, right? And then it says, stepped up smoke, pit as smoke, a furnace, it was dark in the sun, and so it means it moved up here, right? That's the air and the sun and moon. So it moves the area. That's the resurrection. It's talking about there. It's the resurrection, harvest of the wheat and the chaff. That's the resurrection. All blacks are coming together at that point. See? So open up. That's what it's talking about. And out of smoke came then to see, out of smoke came locusts. They came back to the earth, right? Those demons did, those are locusts. Those are locusts. That's the second locust plague. That's the one that's going to tear this country apart. Because now they're at war, right? They've been attacked by America, right? See? These are the demons. You know, the devil, master's children, look like us, talk us, walk us. They're not us. They're master's children, those demons. They're also the locusts. And now they tear this country apart. That's the second locust plague. See? And I'm showing that here because there's also a story of Samson. Remember, Samson went through slavery with us. but he didn't get his eyes back. I mean, he's not a witch, he's a demon, right? And so in revenge, what he did, he positioned himself between two pillars. That's two pillars right there. And he brought him down and killed himself in the process. That's what talking about this demon plague. That's what that's talking about. Hope I'm not going too fast, bro. So I'm trying to make this. Okay. Let's talk about the promised land. Now it talks about this here. You can read it. I can't remember. Okay, this is this is going to really slap Mr. Lion Farrakhan to stick right up his behind, right? Egyptians keep you in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Remember? This far I told him. I remember my covenant. He came, remember his covenant, he came and said Elijah, right? Therefore say to the children of Israel, that's us, I am the Lord. I will bring you out from under the burden of the Egyptians. That's right. I'm the Lord. I'm going to bring you out from under the burden of the Egyptians. I will rescue you from your bondage. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm with great judgments. This is one of my latest plague. I will take you as my people, and I will be your God. Then you should know that I am the Lord your God, who should bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you into the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I will give you as an inheritance. I am the Lord. And I will bring you into the land which I swore. Bring this land, America? No, the land is Arabia, North Africa. See, Farrakhan's called him alive. He said, we ain't going nowhere. Where it says there, right? I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, not Ishmael. Ishmael has it, because they claim it's theirs. He didn't say Ishmael, he said Isaac and Jacob, that's us. See? But they possess the land. See? There we go. We turn back to our land because the witnesses are the Shia. They're not coming here, so we're going there. This is that time when the demons are tearing this country apart. We're gone. See? The Nation of Islam, the Levites, right? They're going through a tribulation period. See? But we're back. That's what it's talking about. Promised land. So you keep listening to Lion Farrakhan. We're not going anywhere. We're going to get 6 states and all that kind of crap. Okay. See, so how do you get past this? Oh, that happened in the past. No, it did not. Aaron, out of control. Let's deal with this one. I should show you a video here, but I'm not. But maybe I will. I don't know. Let me think about it. And now when Moses saw the people out of control, for Pharaoh, Aaron had let them out of control to be derision amongst their enemies. Maybe I will show that video. See, because they lied. They try to twist around and say, oh, they was out of control. Aaron had to get them back in control. No, it says the people out of control because Aaron had got them out of control to be a derision, to be a mockery, a joke to our enemies. And Nation of Islam under Pharaoh is a mockery, it's a joke. No one fears it, no one respects it. Anybody knows that. They're not feared, not respected, they're mocked and laughed at. Scientology and all this garbage, everybody seems to know Scientology is a bunch of crap except Farrakhan because he makes money off of it. Partly, partly is that he's a son of a devil. His whole thing, he thinks analytically too. So maybe he thinks he's going to get that new body. See, because he's been disemboweled, right? And we're told that our women is our heaven, right? Is that what it's told? Well, he's been disconnected from that, right? His bridge to women's been severed, hasn't it? Whew. Anyway, so this is what it's talking about here. The people's how they get out of control? Because when Moses left, that's how they got out of control. You see, Elijah, he goes up to Fry. See, Elijah was there. He was ministering to both the demons, and he was told us to minister both to the chaff and the wheat. Don't separate them. So he ministered to all black people, right? Now, Elijah left, right, to meet up with Farah, to the wheel, right? Farrakhan went with Wallace. There was no leadership in the Nation of Islam. So people's out of control. See? He let them get out of control because he claims he was anointed. He claims anointed and all that stuff, right? But he didn't step up. In fact, when the wolves came and knocked at the door, what did he do? He opened the door, let the wolves in, and he ran like a coward he is, hid behind the master's skirt. That's what he did. That's a fact. He ran and hid. So how can he stay with the Nation of Islam? And not only that, he ran and hid, and then he was going to do a whole new career already. He forgot giving up the Nation of Islam. He didn't care about those people. He didn't care about the believers. He didn't give a damn about the believers. In fact, he didn't get no epiphany either to come back and say, whoa, Raj taught me, I'm going to come back and try to help these brothers. No. Some brother had to go out and retrieve him with guarantees, with guarantee of financial free. They had these lawyers, they wasn't Muslims in Chicago, that guaranteed his financial health, right? Some financial support. And then disenchanted followers of wild was guaranteed his security. They had to convince him to come back. He gave up, he gave Islam the whole thing. And so Ishmael's whole family. They had fled the country. They was down in, he said he was down in smoking weed and carrying on. Don't you understand anything? That's what it's on. They got out of control because there was no leadership. That's how it fell. See, that's the falling away first. That's what it's talking about. So then, Aaron's gone. See, this is one, you need to pay close attention to this one, brothers and sisters. Now, when most of the people out of control, for Aaron had let them out of control to be derision among the enemies of mockery, fool, joke amongst the devils, the people, our enemies. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, whoever is with the Lord, come with me. And all sons of Levi, that's why I keep telling you, the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad raised the widow's son, the Levites. It was Joshua or Jesus that raised Lazarus. Read it carefully. So sons of Levi, those ones, they were still faithful to Elijah Muhammad, but they were still in the Nation of Islam. But and I keep telling you, they're the ones they're going to get rid of Farrakhan from within. He's going to be overthrown from within very soon. This is the process happening right now. He's already acknowledged it. We got betrayers. We got people. He said it in so-called Savior Days. All said in September, in January, July. He's got people that they're going to keep on crucified. They're going to turn against him. They're going to all this stuff. It's already going on. See, it's going to wait till the boiling point happens, war starts, and he's gone. But they're going to take him out from within. So sons of Levi gathered together him. See, those are the ones that were still faithful to Elijah, because Elijah is a Levite himself. They're not Israel, right? They're a tribe that was grafted into Israel, grafted into us, and they're a priest tribe that was supposed to assist Elijah, you understand, in doing his mission, because he's a chief Levi. That said, I'll send you Elijah to prepare a way before me. So when he left, they were supposed to carry on his mission, right, to pave the way for Suleiman or Joshua when he came. But they didn't do that. Instead of building a bridge from Elijah to Joshua, right, they built mansions for Aaron. So there was no bridge. That's why Joshua, we came, right, they wouldn't receive him, because they didn't build a bridge, because they tried to make, ain't nobody come after Elijah. Well, that's obviously patently a lie. Just read Malachi. It says, I will send you Elijah. And then it says, the messenger, another messenger of the covenant will suddenly come to his temple and clean it up. Clean up Elijah's mess, or the one after Elijah, Aaron's mess. It says, another messenger, the messenger of the covenant, that's a fulfiller of the covenant. He's the one that fills the covenant. That's Joshua, Suleiman. It's right there. So anyway, so then he says, okay, they gathered all to get him. And then all of Aaron's followers, right? See, what did they do? They took a sword and killed him. So what does that mean? Now what we want to pay attention to right here is, so the sons of Levi did as Moses instructed, and about 3,000 men of the people fell. Why 3,000? Why 3,000? Anybody that's pay attention to the angel, know that each one of these things represents 1,000. I showed it many instances. Each one of these, so we're not just making this up, it represents 1,000. Remember the one where it says in chapter 11, where it says the name of 7,000 was slain? Right? Each one of these represents 1,000. We're talking about 666. Each one of these represents 1,000. So 3,000 was slain by a sword. See? So what does that mean? That's what it means. That's the 3,000, the demons. Farrakhan, Legion, and his rest of his demons. They be thrown, they be separated out of the eye. See? First, you're gonna have this one that's in there. He's going to break dispose them, and then that's when Suleiman will separate all of the demons out. That's when Nation Islam going to accept Suleiman. That's when they're going to accept him. Once they dispatch Farrakhan, then they're going to accept him. Then he's going to go in and clean out all the demons. Right? Remember that? Mark, the demon-possessed man. Then what happens? See, he didn't want to leave the country. Please don't make me leave the country. See, that's what Farrakhan, they don't want to leave. And he says, I want to stay here. I want to send me back over my demon daddies, right? My swine daddies. And so they ran to swine daddies, and they got to fight with each other and run off the pit. Why? Because there was that peace, and then the demons came, and all of a sudden they got run off the cliff to their death. Why? They weren't at peace anymore. They was fighting with each other. That's what you see right here. Okay? That's 3,000. That's why I say 3,000. Okay, I'm going to take a short break here, brothers and sisters, and then we're going to wrap this up. Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters, as I speak, apparently they finally gave it to Biden. So I guess unless Mr. Trump got some up his sleeve, I guess he's the one. So that scenario is already confirmed. So we'll see what happens. Still got from now. I still stand by November. This is the month. Trump is still president. See what happens. Move on to the next one. brass serpent. And what's this all about? This is in the book. People haven't paid attention to it. Maybe some understand, maybe some don't. Who knows? I'm going to explain it to you. The brass serpent. Now, you need some knowledge of Daniel. I'm not going into a lot of detail. But if you study Daniel, you have this statue. The statue is made of gold, then silver, then brass, then iron. Why those metals? Right? In that particular order. Because brass is an image of gold. When they say image there, they're talking about the actual image of gold. Where iron is an image of silver. You can fool someone with brass. If you shine it real good, you might make them think it's gold. Same thing with iron. Just like your silverware, it's not silver, it's iron. See? So if you understand Daniel, you understand that the silver represents false Israel. And that silver, no, excuse me, the brass represents false Israel. And the reasons in that order because they're pretending to be gold. They're pretending to be us. So when you see brass, because you need Daniel and Revelation to work together, Daniel and Angel work together. That's because they define all the symbols that's in the scripture. So you want to know what the symbols are, you have to look and know to find what the symbols are. So brass is defined as false Israel. See? They're pretending to be Israel. See? Well, iron is false, it is pretending to be silver. Remember they tried to say like Africa, Egypt, and all those places was really European countries. Europeans, was the Egyptians was Europeans and stuff. See, that's what you got there. Also, the scriptures have now false Israel is Satan, but Satan also cast as a serpent. So he's cast as a serpent. False Israel is cast as a serpent. It's also cast as brass. Then you get a brass serpent. See, and all the Europeans also cast as little serpents. You have to understand symbols. So false Israel is cast as brass and also as a serpent. Now you get brass serpent. Okay? So you get a situation here where you got these serpents, they attacking the people. And the people start praying. We need to do something about this. Right? So a brass serpent was made, put on a stick. See? And anyone that looked up to that, right? See? And lived up there and worshipped it, they lived. See? So, what's that? That's the demons there, right? There's your brass serpent, false Israel. If you guys say, hey, remember here's the ball, there is, that's the serpent, brass serpent on a stick, right? Because Jesus is supposed to be Jewish, right? False Israel, right? And so that's what you got. That's what that cross is all about. That's the so-called crucifix. See? So you've been worshiping Satan. Take or leave it. That's up to you. Worshiping Satan. That's what it's telling you. And if all you got to do is say, oh, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. See? I'm a Christian. Then they'll leave you alone. See, I'm with y'all. I'm a Christian. I'm going to leave you alone. That's the whole idea. See, so you got I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. Wearing cross and everything else. Hoping that the other serpents leave them alone, because other serpents, remember the other Caucasians, right? So it's talking about, brothers and sisters. That's the bronze serpent. You're worshiping Satan. See? But then it talks about Suleiman. See? And he symbolized him like the serpent. It says, if Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so will the Son of Man be lifted up. See? So there you go. Now here's the other one. See, now these Christians, they was worshiping Satan. But you got Levites, right? It says if they listen to Suleiman, right? If he's lifted up, right? Then he will lift them up with him. That's this talking about. Okay? He lifts them up with him, then the demons are separated out. And I get back to the demon-possessed man again. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay, now we're about to wrap this up. Satan, the God of this age. That's what Jesus said. He says Satan is God's age. He says it several times in Scripture. Satan is God of this age. We just talked about that, who Satan is. That's who you're worshiping. And whenever it should be ended, 1,000 years will loose Satan out of prison of him. He'd go out to make earth, or he would deceive all the nations in the four corners of the earth. What do you mean, the four corners of earth? And God can make God to lead them into war. See, he's going to deceive all the nations after he's left out of his prison. That was the so-called Dark Ages. Magog and Magog is America and Britain, the two world empires, only two world empires, European world empires since in European history. Here's another one. The good news we preach is hidden behind a veil, hidden only from the people who are perishing. Satan, who is God of this world, he's God of this world. That means the whole world. Has blinded the mind of those who don't believe. They're unable to see the glorious light of the good news. That's the gospel. Remember, Jesus said the gospel or the angel is the good news. Angel is just an Arabic word for the gospel. See, they're able to see the glorious light of the good news, the glorious light of the angel. They'll understand this message because they don't understand this message about the glory of Christ, who is the exact likeness of God. See, so they're unable to see the angel, the light of it. Good news, that's what Jesus called it. The gospel, the good news. I'm able to see the glorious light of the angel. See? Now guess what? Again, the devil, Satan, took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kings of the world, all of them. They say some of all of them in their glory. He said to him, all these things I would give you. He couldn't give them to him. He didn't have them. He didn't control them. That's including America too. All. See? So when they say, in God we trust, tell me, what God? They don't give it a name. Satan. Isn't how they got powerful, how they got control of this country? Through the works of Satan, murder, rape, genocide, disease, theft. All those works of Satan. All things I will give you if you fall down and worship me. See, so Jesus was out. Jesus was out of his country. He couldn't get Jesus to go with him. See, so Jesus, he has control. Everybody but Jesus. Then Jesus said to him, "Go say, for it's written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Then left him, and behold, angels came and began to minister to him. Right, so he still had his angels with him. See, so they was outside of control of Satan. Then Jesus told them, "The voice for your benefit, not mine. The time for judging this world has come when Satan, the ruler, will be cast down. Now I'm lifted up from the earth. I will draw everyone to myself." I keep telling you, Satan is one that you worship. Let's take it a little further. Satan worshipped. Now we get into the angel. I saw upon the right of sitting upon the throne, little book hearing had been written. Okay, this is the little book we're talking about in the angel, right? The one that's sitting there is Satan. See, everybody thinks it's God sitting there. They don't pay attention. But it says, no one was able to open this book, no one, heavens, earth, under the earth. That means if that was God, he wrote the book, how come he couldn't see it? It says, no one, heavens, earth, under earth. That would include God, right? He's in the heavens, earth, or under the earth. Only one lamb could do it. So that means that one there couldn't have been, right? Jesus as you think he is. See? Because he had the book, he just didn't know what he knew it himself. Okay. Now pay attention to this very closely. After these, immediately I came in the spirit, and look, throne was lying in heaven. Lying. That's the word they use. Get it transliteral. Don't go and get the King James says setting, because lying. That's the actual word, transliteral. Why lying? Because it's a lie. It's a lying throne. Or you say, well, what do you want to say is laying? Well, okay, if the throne is laying down, why would the throne be laying down? How are you going to sit on the throne that's laying down? Either way, it's the problem there, isn't it? See. Anyway, here's the throne. Satan on his throne, right? And he has the living, right? The creatures all around him and everything, like you see here, right? So I'm not going to explain all this, right? You can look at this to get which one's emerald, what's jasper, and everything what he's talking about there. I'm going to that. So we see here's the Satan. He has control of all the nations, right? They're all worshiping him. That's why he's the God of this world. That means that's including you. Are you not deceived? That the whole world be deceived. You're not deceived. Only one who wasn't deceived was Jesus and those with him. Oh, he said, well, I'm Christian. I'm with him. That's not what he's talking about. You better read this carefully. That's not what it's talking about. You see? So here it is again, right? So just go past this. See, that's Satan, right? They all worship. They say fall down worshiping him. See? They throw their crowns down. You don't say 24 crowns, say their crowns. That's goes to crowns. That's a shield that's being thrown down. Give you time reference there, right? Okay, brothers and sisters, that should be it. That should be it. So let's see here. Okay, brothers and sisters, I hope that has been informative. So now we wait and see. So apparently, Mr. Biden got in there. I didn't think he would, but that scenario is already set. So now the other scenario I talked about, I said, well, that means still, this is the month of November. I'm not backing off on that one. That's what the angel says. And I think, and I have, that's what the angel says. I'm sticking with that. This is the month. That means event. It says the event will happen. That's going to start the war. See, and there's no one angry right now on this planet than Mr. Trump. So we only have a few more days in this month, right? What's today, the 7th? So we got 24 days left this month. 23 days left this month. 30 days to have November, right? I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to make it the 30th of November. I expect the war to break out anytime. I'm definitely saying it's going to be, according to my understanding, my study, right? It will be, like I said, it will be between the Sabbath and the winter, which will be all of October, all of November, and 3 weeks in December, to December 21st. See? But the war would have to start before December 21st, because all these other things have to happen before the winter too. The war just starts it. A lot of things have to happen within this period of time. It says when it happens suddenly and quickly. So we'll see, brothers and sisters. I'm not like these other clowns trying to get your money and tell you, hey man, something happened 20 years from now, 50 years from now. All the while, you putting them in mansions, paying their rent and everything else. I'm just telling you what the angel says. My study of it. If I got it wrong, then you need somebody. You got to wait for the next guy to come along that's going to break the seals. I haven't broken them. So we'll see. I think that's pretty much it, brothers and sisters. There's a lot. I'm working very hard to get this information to you, brothers and sisters. I'm not wavering. I'm not tired. Because we need to be ready, because you're about to unite. You're about to get that energy, that electrical energy, right? It's going to bring this body to life. It's building up. But it said two things will happen at the same time, right? When temperature is 212 degrees, that's Fahrenheit, boiling, it'll be crushing for them, that pressure, but it'll be unifying for us. And Farrakhan will be the first to go. He's my main target. And one thing I'll say, bro, is y'all don't have to hit on Farrakhan. I got him, right? If you're going to talk to brothers and sisters out there, right? I'm not trying to tell you what to say, because you have to do it in your way. You have to build up your Hajj. But, you can focus on different things, point out different things about, like how they worship Satan, right? How to get them familiar with the angel. Things like that. See, you don't have to go on. And all things, these people are baiting us. See, I figured that one out. Say come in, they say something really nasty, get you, and to me, I'm going to attack them. And then what happens? Then when you hit them back, you maybe see the same words they use. Then what they do is they go in Facebook, hey, what you say, what do you call it, whatever, you violate some, some bad hate speech or whatever, and get you locked out. That's the game. See, so don't fall into that game. You don't have to do that. See, in fact, when they say it to you, right, what you might want to do is just put it on them right away. Bam, lock them out. Don't respond. See, only reason I respond, I don't need to respond. I don't respond in anger. See, there's a method to this madness, if you want to call it that, because this is not one of these Farrakhan things. Hey, I'm holy, I'm better than all that kind of stuff. No, I grew up in the hood, just like you did, like most of you did. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. I grew up in the hood, right? I was on my own by the time I was 14. I was orphaned by the time I was 14, right? Nobody took care of me. There was no mystery God ever done a damn thing for me, ever, right? I went through it all, right? Hanging out, hanging with my friends, we got stealing cars and all that kind of stuff. I was doing all that stupid stuff. I'm not making excuses for it. I mean, I didn't have anybody tell me any different. I'm hanging out. See, when my father was alive, it wasn't no hanging out. So when I was a new experience for me, when he passed 14, I had nobody. I was on my own. So I was, when I'm hanging out, most trouble I got was hanging out with other people, right? I had no concept of, what is bad. I mean, what the consequences of stuff was. Until I started getting into the Bible and started reading the Bible, I took that and said, I needed some guidance. I wasn't getting anything from this else. I took my faith in the Bible and started reading it. See? But I was out there hanging out like everybody else, like you was, doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, I was never into dope and all that stuff. I mean, I didn't do that until I got into the military in Vietnam. I wouldn't smoke. I didn't smoke. I tried smoking one time. I said, it's stupid. I can't make a sense out of it. I was into that. I wasn't a drinker. Then I got drunk one time and I was into that. It didn't make any sense to me. But I was out there doing those things. See, talking to dozens and all that kind of stuff. So I'm making it clear to you, brothers and sisters, there's no holy one walking around in water. There's a halo around. That's bullshit. I'm just like you. I'm just your brother. That's all I am, right? See, I may be your elder brother, and I may deserve respect because I'm doing what I'm doing, not just because I say I do. So you respect someone. If somebody, the doctor heals you, you give respect because he did something for you. So he deserved your respect because he healed your behind. See? So I want to let everybody know that if you come after me with your bullshit, right, then I'm gonna put bullshit back on you. I ain't no Rudy Tooty, one of these clowns right here, choir boys. I can go both ways. See? You want to go gangster, I can go gangster. I can go intellectual. So I'll let you know I can go gangster. If you want to go gangster, I can go gangster with your dumb ass. See? You want to get down in the shit, I can get down in the shit with you. We can slug it out. That's why I do it, brothers and sisters. See? Let everybody know we're all together, one family. We're all in the shit together. I'm not trying to pretend my shit is good shit. We're all in the shit together. That's why I do it. Now, my family tell you, I never use that language around them. See? Because they're my family, why would I use that language around them? But I want them to know that you're not playing with some clown here, some disemboweled, asshole, clown, coward that's trying to pretend they're holy and divine. I'm not divine, I'm not holy. In fact, Fry asked the question, where's holy? He said holy was, I think, call it, I forgot what it was. It was, what's that animal that, a possum. I think he said possum was holy. The possum eat dead things. So, I mean, I didn't get into that, trying to figure all that out. But I'm trying to say, brothers and sisters, when you meet Farad, he's your brother. He calls us his uncle and his aunt. You respect him because he's saving your life. He's going to war for you 24/7 for over 80 some years. So it's pure, I'm pure, I'm whole. Farrakhan, you in the same bowl of shit we in. So you can wear all the pretty clothes, you want everything else. You're the same bowl of shit we in. And worse, you got the shit in you. We only got on us. See, because you a devil's son. Remember, brother and sister, you're the apple for our eyes. See? And we're at war. See? And be careful what you do. And one last thing I want to say about children. When you see your children lying and stuff, I don't promote lying. See? But you explain to them why they're doing what they're doing, because that's healthy. I mean, that's the only defense they got. They don't wouldn't ate that donut, right? And then you say, who ate that donut? And you about to kick somebody's head. It wasn't me. Which isn't that natural? Doesn't that make sense? It's self-defense. Self-defense is the first law of nature. You just teach it, don't eat no damn donuts. Because when you're at war, don't you lie to your enemy? Hey man, you gonna attack us on Sunday? No, we're not gonna attack you on Sunday. See, I had a general like that, was stupid like that, he wouldn't be a general very long. They said they're gonna take a break on Sunday, and they asked you, would you attack them? Give me your word, you attack them on Sunday. You said, yeah, they're gonna attack them on Sunday, and you don't attack them on Sunday. Hey man, that's what war's all about, deception. Brothers and sisters, read that book. It's a good book, The Art of War. Read it, The Art of War. Right. You mean you can kill your enemy, but you can't lie to him? We have to put things in perspective. See, children have to be taught not to lie, because I mean, look, what you gonna do? Mom and dad come down you hard, man. When you 6, 5, 6, 7 years old, they look like giants to you. And that little belt, man, looks like a torture chamber. And you don't want that. I don't know about that, man. It was it was Aaron over there or somebody. I don't know anything about nothing. That's healthy. That's natural. They have to ground that. You have to teach them out of that. Make sure they got a sense of self-defense. They ain't crazy. Oh yeah, Mama, you come on, you gonna beat my butt. You raising the masochist. Thank you, brothers. Remember, the apple of Allah's eyes, the apple of Allah's eyes, right? He's gonna take you home. He's gonna put you back on your throne, right? It's my job to give you back, right? Your mind. See? Because you can't go back. Like I said, you cannot return without thorough knowledge of yourself. And these people's trying to take your knowledge away from you. They're trying to disconnect you from your creation. The creator from the creation. They're trying to separate it. And they've successfully done it to most of us. See? Because they want to be the creator. And that's the whole objective. To come in with their new creation, their mechanical creation. Their mechanical God. Right? Their cyborg. You think that might be funny? You think it's not true? You better pay attention. You better watch what's going on around here. You've been to Walmart lately. You heard about driverless cars. About these places you go in, you don't even need anybody in there anymore. Think about it, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.